Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm just going to be hanging out in the garage, doing a few little odd jobs on the Nissan. I'm having trouble actually starting it, including not having a decent battery, but it's quite hesitant to start, and I think it's the spark plug, so I'm going to whip them out, give them a clean, and hopefully that'll fix the problem. Right, so I think I'm going to actually just take the actual spark plugs out and give them a clean and see if that's going to improve the actual starting. So I am still waiting to get a battery for this, but I do borrow the battery from the Celica because it's the same size. Just swap it over just to move it about because it's not going anywhere at the moment. There's still the better weather arrives, so I'm not in a rush to actually get a battery just yet. But when I do actually start the car, it's a little bit hesitant to start, and I think it's because the plugs are a little bit fouled. With it not actually getting a run, it's just getting fuel onto the plugs, and they're probably a little bit oiled up or fueled up. So I thought I'd just take them out and give them a bit of a clean, and see if that improves the actual starting. Also, there's a few little tidying up bits I want to do in here. I've got to remake this bracket here. Can you see that on camera? You probably can. It's too low because it's too high for the cable, and if I put it on that there, it stretches the cable too much and it makes the cable stick. So I am going to actually lower it down, remake it and make it a little bit lower. But I'll do that in a separate video. That'll be a little fabrication video or something like that. A little bit of cleaning up to do around here as well. I also want to check all these brake fittings as well because they're starting to rust. Because it's been damp in this garage, especially last year, it was really damp, a lot of moisture. I think it's because the roof's not insulated, which is a job I'll be doing later in the year as well. That'll be on another video. Similar to what I did with the workshop. If you didn't see that video, go back and watch it. I'll put a link somewhere. You can go back and watch that video about basically me just renovating the workshop and insulating the roof, stopping all the condensation and damp, which is exactly what I've got to do in here. And I think then this will be quite a nice little place to work in. I have got to fix a leak on this wall as well, but that's something that'll be coming up again in another video. Me and Stan are going to have a look at that at some point. Probably I think he calls it a French drain. Put a load of dig a big hole and put a load of pea shingle in, and then the water soaks away through the drain, not into the garage floor. Okay, that came out pretty easy. I will give this a clean while it's off as well. I'm even touching the lettering as well, so all that end's all coming off. Let's give it a little tidy up, ready for show season. Let's put that somewhere safe, probably down at the best. Right, these are all split fire coil packs. I replaced these must be 3 or 4 years ago from the standard ones, and they've been absolutely perfect. I did a video on the installation as well. I'll put a link somewhere you can go watch that. But these are really well worth investing in as well. I've had, touch wood, no problems with them at all. They've been really good coils. I know it's old technology now, this, and it could do with all upgrading. Let's move it out of the way. I'd love to get an ECU, better ECU, something a little bit better management, something that can get rid of all the cold start system, and the engine management can sort that and run that. Link ECU would be absolutely perfect, but that's way out of my budget at the moment. So maybe, I don't know, aftermarket, some sort of piggyback ECU might do it. Something that would be worth looking in. If anybody's actually used a piggyback ECU on one of these engines, something where you can actually data log and you can actually change the settings and you can get rid of the cold start, I'd be quite interested in some information on that. So everyone who's got any information, just drop me a comment below and I can contact you either through email or whatever, and we can have a look and have a chat about that. That'd be quite interesting if someone's got some info for that. Right, so I need a 8mm on there, I think that's Yeah, they're sockets as well. I think that's the same size as those, so we just pop those out. So in theory, if I remember rightly, I mark these as yellow, so the yellow ones stay in, and then I can take the entire rail out, I think. That will come out there. It's been a while since I've done this. It is actually due for an oil change as well, so I'll probably do an oil change as well in the next couple of months. I'll see if I find an 8mm for that. Right, so I've got a little 8mm socket here. Just get these out. These need replacing. I might actually see if I've got some stainless, or some stainless ones for these. Just to upgrade it a little bit. I'll just whip all these out. We'll have a look at the damage. Improve a few little bits on this car really. I know I do a lot of, pardon my French, fanning around with it. But I just want to improve the drivability a little bit. One thing I do regret is removing the power steering rack and just going to a manual rack. Because it's got big tyres on it as well and big wheels. I think they're 15x7, so they're quite beefy tyres. It does take a lot of manoeuvring at low speeds. Got a little earth wire on there, mustn't forget that. And it would make it easy to manoeuvre about with power steering, so it is a bit of a pity I got rid of it really. I don't think I could. I actually threw the rack away, which is ridiculous now when you think about the price of parts for this car. The amount of parts I actually get rid of and threw away is stupid. If I kept hold of them, you know, I could have actually retrofitted the actual power steering back on, got a new pump for it. So I've still got the actual crank pulley on there for power steering. So I actually just got a different belt, a slightly smaller belt, rerouted it so it fits better without the power steering. So it looks nicer, it's more neat, it's less in the engine bay. The pump was up here, or the actual reservoir was up here, and I think it would have been, as I'm getting older, just make it easy when you've got power steering, you know, when you're around car parks and things like that. Not that I go very far in this anyway, just go to the odd show now, and things like that. So it's tolerable, so I can drive it. It's just, it would make it easier, especially getting in and out of the garage. It just make it a little bit hard, especially with a smaller steering wheel as well. I suppose I could go back to the bigger steering wheel, but that doesn't look as nice, because I've got the ZX steering wheel in this. Yeah, but see if I can find, I think they're fine threaded 8mm bolts to see what I've got. See if I can actually swap them out. If not, I'll purchase some and then can put them in. It's just, you know, just saying about the power steering will just make it a lot easier to manoeuvre about, but it's tough now. It's just a little regret, but there's not a lot you can do about it now. Unless I start getting back down the gym, get my arms beefed back up again, and then won't need power steering. Right, talking of the cold start as well, I have seen where somebody's actually blanked the entire IAC valve off, the cold start system off, removed it and blanked the actual holes off, and then just turned up the actual idle up. So the idle's probably about 1200 revs, so it's at high revs idle all the time. That could be an option, I suppose, but it would make it look neater. And I've actually got another plenum, so I could have actually have it welded up and all ground down, make it look nice and smooth. It would improve the look of it. I'm just going to get that one out there. So that's something I could try and do. I could do that, but do I want it running at 1200 revs all the time, 1100 revs idle? Usually rests about 950 when it's feeling good. So it might be something I could do. If anybody else has done that, drop me a comment below, let me know.
find my other Allen key.
Right, so should it be nice and just pop off. Yeah, look at that nice sound. Look at that, brand new. Oh, that's a little bit burnt there, look. Is that arcing across or is that just dirt? You think? Probably just a bit of dirt. Smells a bit fuely, might have just been a bit of fuel. Right, again, I'm going to put them somewhere safe. Down on there again. I'm going to find my spark plug socket and we'll whip that out. Loose. Let's have a look, see what we got. Condition, a healthy engine. Should be quite healthy, it's hardly done any miles. Yeah, sutted up. See? Really sutted up. So, is that going to focus on that? Probably not. There we go, focus. There we go. Focus. So, that's basically why it's having trouble starting, is because they're all sutted up and overfueled, so it's not getting a run as well, so they're not getting all the fuel burnt off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give these a really good clean and then pop them all back in, and hopefully that should solve the problem. Yeah, smell. Oh, smells nice. Smells of fuel. Take them all out, and I think I'm going to put some tissue in there. So I'll do all this in the lovely old workshop. I think this actually did about 10 miles last year. Didn't actually go to any shows due to one thing and another. But this year I want to try and get to a few, even if they're just local ones, local car meets, etc. But it's got to get an MOT first, and the main issue I have at the MOT is not getting it through the MOT, is the garage I go to always destroys the front bumper. So I have actually got an original Sunny ZX front bumper without the splitter, because I sold that, which I regret as well. It's another thing I regretted. Sold it dirt cheap and they're worth silly money now. So I might just paint that up and run it without the front lip, the MOT. Then it's not going to get damaged. And I can put this one back on. And it's dead easy, I think it's like 4 or 5 bolts to actually put this front bumper on. It's not like the Celica, which is absolutely tons. There's all the clips underneath and things. And I've got to do the same to the Celica as well. I've got to get another bumper for that. He always destroys the front lip. Well, he has destroyed the front lip. And I've got to, they're all the same, look. So I've got to actually get another bumper for that, put that on, just for the MOT as well. So I'm not having, I like the garage. They're honest, they do the really nice MOTs and whatever, they're really good and honest garage, but I don't like how he destroys the bumper every time on the ramp. So the only way around it, I think it was actually Phil who came up with that idea. He said, why don't you just either take the lip off or swap the bumpers? So thanks, Phil, I shall do that. Right, I'm going to whack some tissue in there, put a nice cloth over it so no moisture gets in, and we'll go and clean these up. Right, so I'm in the lovely warm workshop. It's actually not too bad outside today, it's a little bit of cool wind, but I think actually spring is here. So I'm just going to give them a bit of a squirt over with the parts cleaner first. Loose crap off. And I think I'll give them a gentle wire brush. And so we can clean those up a little bit. Yeah, that's better. It's coming up nice. They're actually not old, these. Well, I say they're old, but they're not got a lot of miles on them, these spark plugs, so they should be okay. Once they're cleaned up, I might just run a little bit, tiny bit of wet and dry in there just to clean the actual end up and the connection, or whatever you want to call it, diode, electrode. I'm going to spray. much brighter. Right, so all the spark plugs are all nicely cleaned. I'm just going to check the gap. So I've got my faithful old Haynes manual. This is the updated version as well. It has all the Sunny ZX in it. Mine was an 88 and this is 86 to 91, and I believe the previous book didn't have a ZX in it. Mine's got the ZX engine in, of course. CA18DE spark plugs, Champion spark plugs. I'm running NGKR, but that's okay. 1mm gap, and I believe I checked all these and they were bang on. Get the right feeler gauge. Here we go. Yep, perfect. So I'll check them all, re-gap them if necessary, and then we'll whack them back in the car. And hopefully that will fix the starting problem. Right, so I'm going to put the old spark plugs back in. I won't be able to start it today because I need a Celica, and the only decent battery I've got is on the Celica, so if I take that off, I won't be able to go anywhere, and I've got to go and get my hair cut. It's getting a little bit long. Go and see Dom at the old Blunt Rabbit, get my hair trimmed, make myself feel a bit more human again. So I won't be starting the Nissan in this video to see if it's actually fixed the problem, but I'm pretty sure it will have. And then probably coming up in another video I'll be messing about with the cold start and trying to adjust that and get it to start a little bit easier. So while the actual cover's off as well, I may even just give the aluminium a bit of a buff as well. There's a few little marks and scratches in it, so I'll get my little buffing wheel on there and just tidy all that up, make sure it's all nice and shiny. Do the same on here as well. The white line strut brace looks pretty good. It's been a while since I actually rebuilt this engine. It's probably... I was talking to Stan about it the other day actually. When we put the engine in, I'm thinking, oh, it was only a couple of years ago, but I think it was probably 10 years ago. We're both working at the same place then, and I just think it's funny how you think time goes by so slowly really. You think, oh, it's only a couple of years ago, but when you look into it more, it is actually 10 years or more. Snug that down, not too tight. Nice and straightforward. Yep, just together lovely. There we go. Two that way and two that way. So now all I've got to do is a little bit of tidying up, clean it up, fix the old connection there, and that's the job's done. To the next jobs, which is that cable there and the cold air start. But hopefully this will make it now start a lot easier. I think I'm going to end the video here. I think I've waffled on long enough about spark plugs, etc. and all Nissan engines. I hope you've enjoyed hanging out with me in the garage today. If you have, drop me a comment below. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Most importantly, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.